there. Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk with Tori Ifese. Today I have Mr. Femi Elufidiya here with me. So Mr. Femi, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so can we get to meet you?
All right, so my name is Femi Elufidiya, as you have rightly introduced me. I'm a management consultant, and as a management consultant, I deliver value in areas of business transformation for organizations. And so, on that note, I'm project management certified. I'm a business analyst, a Lean Six Sigma professional, as it were. So, those are the skills that I bring on board as I deliver value to my clients.
Thank you so much. So I
Welcome.
love the fact that you're certified as a business analyst, Agile. You mentioned Agile. You mentioned project management. Quite a number of them. But I know that you didn't just have all this in a day.
Of
There's
course.
actually a process, right? Can you let us know what actually was your first course of study in school?
Okay, so whilst I was in the university, I read agric economics and extension, agricultural economics and extension, whilst I was on campus. And I've truly wanted to practice as a farmer. However, we're supposed to have a mandatory farm year, and then we got to that mandatory farm year. They took us to farm, and because during our induction at 100 level, they
Okay.
did tell us that during the mandatory farm year, it's going to be mechanized farming. I went to a University of Technology. So I was expecting that by the time we get to that mandatory farm year, it's going to be
Everything.
truly mechanized farming. And only for us to get to the farm at 400 level, and then we are handed cutlasses and
That's
O's.
pretty
I was like,
funny.
after 5 years in the University of
Wow.
Technology, is this what
Wow.
I'm going to be doing with this? So at that point, my interest in agriculture, as it were, my interest in farming, as it were, began to just, I started looking for other alternatives. So, final year, I was looking at, okay, what programs can I do post university? And then there was this, then, if you recall, there were these vibes and hypes around CCNA. You have the
Yeah.
likes of Aptex
Yeah.
then. Everybody was doing CCNA. So I said, okay, let me try my hand
On
on that
CCNA.
CCNA. So I tried, but I discovered that no. It wasn't. And then along the line, I stumbled, so to speak, on project management. So I just thought, okay, I think I love this one. But I said that this is it, that this is the one I should do. So I actually started my professional certifications, my professional upskilling from project management. And since then, I've built on that.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
It's so amazing, so funny when you mentioned that you got to the field and you were handed over. Were you not expecting to use some of those gadgets, those tools?
You mean the cutlasses
Yes,
and
the
hose?
cutlass. Yes, now
Yes,
you still would have to
but
use them.
yes, we may still have to use them, but then,
But I
you
understand
know,
the feeling. Okay, that's interesting. So you had mentioned that you had an opportunity. Okay, you had actually wanted to venture into CCNA
yes, IT
because based
professional, of
on
course.
peer pressures and of course
Mm-hmm.
people were
Yeah,
talking about it, and somehow you stumbled on the project management, and since then you keyed into project
yes,
management. And this is so interesting because I know that you are very, I can say, excellent in this or in this agile business processes, business automation. So in general, I see you more as a business analyst, right?
okay,
And of course projects, right? But I know that one major skills that stands out, every other thing can be incorporated
yes,
because as a business analyst, somehow along the line, you should know how to put some projects in faces and the likes
exactly,
about.
yes,
Okay, so but for someone who is looking at transitioning into project management,
okay.
for instance, what would be your advice?
Okay, so first of all, project management, thankfully, is not industry specific.
Okay.
So, I mean, literally anybody can project manage any project in any industry. So, the first thing that I always tell people is that pick an industry of interest. Very important. So, you don't want to be just in starting, you don't just want to be a generalist specialist, as we call it.
Oh, okay.
Pick an industry of interest. So you can be an IT project manager,
Mm.
you can be a construction project manager, you can be in a financial services project manager, as the case may be. So in transitioning into becoming a project manager, it's important that you pick an industry of interest that you will be known for,
For.
that in that particular ecosystem or community, you are able to render your project management service. Because you see recently, if you look at some job opportunities, even around project management these days, it's no longer just
No,
generalist
yeah,
information.
yeah.
They will ask, okay, are you an automated project man? We need a warehouse automated project automation project manager. We need an IT project manager. We need a construction
Mm.
project managers. I always
Mm.
strongly advise transition into project management. Start with an industry of interest, and then you can consolidate on that. Maybe when you have deliver value in that space, okay, you want to explore some other areas, then you can also skill in that areas also, and then you can also
Okay,
transition
so
into
this
the.
brings me back down to two questions.
Okay.
The first being that if I have, how will I be able to identify the industry that I can, you know, take on my project management skills? Because we know that it's so difficult for you to say, as a young graduate,
Mm-hmm.
you just get to a place and say, please, can I try? Can I work in your, how, I know there's a part of internship, but
Yes.
how can people get this opportunity to expose them to, these platforms where they can now, decide, okay, this is exactly where I want to focus in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one. Then the second one is project management a tech skill?
Okay.
So let's have the first
All right. So how
question.
do you pick an industry of
Yes,
interest
of
to
interest,
start
yes.
with? So again, you see a lot of organizations or even industry. They organize exhibitions these days. They
Okay.
organize job fairs. Okay, let me put
Oh,
a job
okay.
fairs. I
Oh,
think
okay.
Jobama just did one recently.
Oh,
So you see an interswitch. So you see a lot of organizations these days. You see a lot of these communities. They will come out and say we are doing job fairs, and so you want to look out. So you want to look at and you want to look out for these job fairs and see. When you attend, you can then see from the resource persons, the resource facilitators, telling the people the experiences, telling them the opportunities in there. Then you can decide, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because, I mean, I met a very young lady also recently, young guy recently, who read chemical engineering
okay.
in one of the top private university in Nigeria, not even Nigeria, in Africa. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Guess what? Guess where she's working currently?
Where's he
She's
working?
working in a bank. As
Wow.
what? As a programmer.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, so how do you do transition from chemical engineering? I
to
think I
programming.
think 2-1 or even first class in chemical engineering
Wow.
to being involved in coding, programming, software development. And she said that's her own interest. So you probably have seen that. So exposure is very key.
Key.
Exposure, be exposed. Again, we are in a global village. So you also need to have a very important presence on LinkedIn. For me, I also believe in Twitter or X as we know it to be now. There's a lot of professionals, there's a lot of organizations, there's a lot of communities there that you can begin to track them, look at what they are doing. And if you are quite fascinated about their achievements, their growth, and all of that, you can begin to say, okay, I would like to play in this particular industry.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the
So the
second
tech,
one, project
how the tech.
management in tech. Thankfully, again, like I said earlier, project management is not industry specific.
Okay.
And so in every industry, there will always be need to execute one project or
Or
the
the
other.
other.
So
Okay.
you will always have need for project managers even in the tech space. And I think also when we talk about tech, we also need to also talk about tech related fields. So tech is not limited to software engineering or solution architecture and the like. In all of these things, at the end of the day, all of them we say have to be delivered. Most of them, if not all of them, will have to be delivered as projects. So on that basis, we need project managers in the tech space as well.
And to add to what you've said about the relevance of project management in tech, we also have tools. I know we have
Yes,
Microsoft Project,
exactly. Yes.
which is a software to aid the
Mm-hmm.
application of projects,
Correct.
So that clarifies that. Furthermore, I would like to understand how what were your challenges while climbing the ladder, because I know you graduated, you had rightly said, mentioned it, you graduated as an agric engineer, right?
No, economist.
Agric economist,
Economist.
okay?
Yeah.
And then now you're into you're a business analyst, you are a
Yes.
project
Manager.
manager, and
Yes.
quite a number of things within the
Mm-hmm.
business automation space.
Yes.
So let's talk about the challenges.
Okay. So to start with, you looking to get the right jobs to be able to deploy all of these learnings. Very important. So it's not enough that you've upskilled, you've done your project management training or business analysis or business automation and the likes. Another thing is for you to be given the opportunity or the
Platform.
environment to be able to deploy. So one of the major challenges, that environment, that platform where you can actually express and then build on all of these things that you have learned. That is one. So you, based on your interest, you begin to look out for opportunities. And in looking out for opportunity, another challenge could be that you're also looking at being compensated commensurately. That's another challenge. So you spend a lot of resources, because that's one thing I always tell people, in upskilling yourself in these areas we are talking about: project management, business analysis, and all that. We are talking about thousands of US dollars in training and certification. Having
Wow.
invested that much, you really want to find a place where you can deploy this.
Deploy
And
them,
I
yeah.
receive such requests every now and then that feel okay, I am satisfied. If I met someone recently reaching out for me, somebody referred me to him from America, from US, said, okay, I just become business analysis professional. I'm looking at learning. I'm looking at deploying this knowledge. I want to have practical experience. So that is one major challenge. Being able to have practical experience of all of these certifications that you are acquiring is one major challenge. Having acquired all the certifications, eventually you want to have a place where you can actually deploy all of these lanes. So that's a major challenge. And then when you also get in there, you also want to be compensated for all the investments you have made, into all of these things. So you see some employers, you know, offering you some enumeration that may not be commensurate as it were, but you really want to be able to stay the course and at least gather that experience, acquire that experience, regardless of the challenges. Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I know that tech is the main thing now to an
Yeah.
extent. Yeah, oh, tech, and then we all know that, like you had explained, tech is like a platform to work smartly, right?
Yes.
So, and whatever skills that you have,
Mm-hmm.
you can be integrated.
Sure.
So I want to know, looking at the new tech trends that we have, it's the whole technology is becoming very dynamic in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the trends, how can people meet up with this trend? I'm saying this because you now hear people who are business analysts say they are in tech.
Mm-hmm.
And like you have said, you know, it's required in almost all organizations.
Yes.
So you had mentioned business intelligence. I know that there is also forensic people in security also
Mm-hmm.
having something to do with tech. So just break it down. How can people meet up with this tech trend?
Okay, so the reality of our days also is the fact that we're in a digital transformation era, and there's
Okay.
nothing anybody can do about it. So it's either you jump on that wave, you ride that wave, or you are just literally left behind. So because of that, you see a lot of demand for business analysts in a digital transformation environment, in an IT environment. So that's always say a lot of people coming for business analysis, upskilling, that you also really want to familiarize yourself with the digital transformation uh, environment around you, because they are largely needed in that space.
Okay.
So because digital transformation is integrated in every area of business. People are coming up with applications. Literally every service provider has one application
Or
or
the
the
other.
other, either web-based or mobile-based.
Oh,
And so, because of that, you want to be sure. And the simplest of them all, our social media platforms. Our social media platforms are not just social media platforms for service providers or for enterprises. You are managing, you are developing content, you are managing content, you are managing engagement. All of this requires. So we are not just creating, for example, marketer couldn't just have created an IG page just for the fun of it. We are tracking whether that platform we are having conversions.
okay.
Those are one of the roles of business analyst in that tech space. So all these trends are very important that we're able to follow the trends. We're able to be aware as well. We are up to date. We are kept abreast what is happening on the go. What is the latest? So, for example, now you are using chatbots
Oh,
for
yeah.
customer engagement. So you are not just setting up Facebook, you are not just creating that WhatsApp business platform. There's probably a robot behind the scene working as a virtual assistant who is creating it, who is managing it. The whole essence of creating those platforms, are they actually delivering to purpose? So you see, all those trends are very important, like I've mentioned.
Thank you so much. So, on the final note, I would like you to just give us career tips for those who are probably are looking at are confused out there and still trying to identify what paths they should pursue, like they should take on.
Okay, so I think this will be predicated on the fact that you are desiring a personal growth. You
Okay.
want to have some growth in certain area. Probably the skill you have right now are low level skills. And like I said earlier on, digital transformation, artificial intelligence is clearing out those low level skills nowadays. So any upwardly mobile, forward thinking, progressive mindset, individuals or professionals should be looking at how to growing those low level skills to start with. And so you must have a personal vision board where you have created your growth plan
Okay.
that in the next 1 year, so from your short term to mid term to long term, so you have that personal growth, and that is the place of training is non-negotiable. It starts, but that's where it starts from. Everybody is learning. I'm also learning. Recently I was with my mentor, and let me be a bit vulnerable, and my mentor told me to my face, at my level too, that Femi, you are not growing. And when your mentor is telling you are not growing, it's because he's talking from
His experience, yeah.
position. In fact, when he said to me that he's not growing, it's because he's at a level of growth plan right now that I'm playing catch up. He's doing a doctorate program right now in with thousands of pounds in the UK.
Wow.
Yes, and at his level, you'll be wondering, okay, why are you stressing?
Why are you
Don't
stressing
put me
yourself?
on that. But that is the reality. So training is very important. Upskilling is very important. Exposing yourself, networking, belonging to communities. I always say to people that to be able to take advantage of all of these things, number one, you must also smash all your comforts, any form of comfort zone. You can't afford to be complacent. And when I say that on to be able to wrap up this, I look at three things every now and then to make sure that I am not sitting in my comfort zone. Number one, who are the people that have gone ahead of me? And when I say gone ahead, I'm talking about people older in career, age, and all that. Like this, is my mentor. So because those are the people that I'm literally following their steps. So I know where. So if he can be at this level, admirable level in his career, doing very well, locally and globally speaking, then I want to aspire. So I'm looking, okay, my mentor is doing, I have two of them or three of them. They are already, one is already a doctor, one is already doing his in 2 years time will be done. So I know that being a doctor, not the honorary one, being a doctor is very non-negotiable for me. So I'm being challenged by that. So I need to go back to school. Number two, I'm looking at my peers, my
Okay.
colleagues on the same level. Okay, what are they doing? What skills are they acquiring? Where are they playing at? What field are they playing at? One recently became a COO of one of a budding fintech. I look at, okay, if this guy became a CEO, okay, what exactly did he do? What are the things? So I look at this product. These informations are there. Go and check people's. Any serious-minded professional is on LinkedIn.
Yes.
At least is on LinkedIn. Go and check there. Look at just go and check their profile. Some are magnanimous enough to tell you all the certifications. And so when the guy is a COO, what did he do? What skills
Differently.
did he acquire to become a COO? To become an MD. I mean, at my looking at my age now, most of my peers now we are becoming MDs, we are becoming governors, ministers.
I'm telling
So
you.
you need to upskill. You need to
Yeah.
probably go back to school, and then people that are also looking up to you, people that are behind you, your junior colleagues, they are also giving you a run for your whether you like it or not. They can even overtake you in life. Overtaking is allowed.
Yes, sir.
So you can't afford. I know some of my juniors, colleagues, junior, whatever now, that they have gone ahead of me as well. And those are the things that, oh, if this guy has gone, of course, by the way of their own chosen career path. But the point here is this: you can't afford to be complacent at any level or at anywhere you find yourself. You can't afford to.
Thank you so much. So you can't afford to be complacent. Have you
Yes.
had that? Okay, but you see, I was a bit taken aback when you were talking about you going to school. I hope you're not thinking of jackpying, because a lot of people are jackpying now, if there's any word like that.
Well,
What's your take about this jackpot syndrome?
okay, so it's a macro problem, as it were, in Nigeria or probably Africa. I don't think it's even a Nigerian thing. If you
Oh,
look, yeah,
okay.
I don't think it's limited to Nigeria. In
Oh,
Kenya, in South Africa, just as some environments are a little bit better probably than ours, and probably by the virtue of our population, and even look at the number of people that are jackpotting, so to speak, in Nigeria.
we are
It's
still getting,
ex-
the population
exactly,
is still there.
exactly. But my take on jackpot is this: uh, exposure is very key.
Mm-hmm,
Global exposure
mm-hmm,
is very key.
mm-hmm,
Because right now, from anywhere in the world, you can actually add value.
mm-hmm,
Meta is there in the US; they are spread all over the world. Google is there in the US; they're spread all over the world.
mm.
So, the whole essence of if you are jackpot for the purpose of acquiring global experiences, global exposure, that you can always uh, deliver or deploy anywhere. So your service may be required even back in Nigeria at any point. Like someone say, after you jackpot, you also do jackpot.
Jackpada. Yes, so
Yes.
we are expecting a lot
So
of
jackpot is
jackpada.
allowed, but you just must be intentional.
Yeah.
And also, please be well informed. Where information is very key. Don't just go to so many places because
Because
people are
people are
going there.
doing
You
the
don't
doing
have an idea what people are going through currently. So information is very key. Know what is required, and that is why, if I may also add to this jackpot thing, you can jackpot gloriously, or you can japa in a very honorable way, and that is where this upskilling, training is very important. So when you I say a lot, I tell people, before you japa, do all these certifications, come to Macintosh, do all these tech certifications. By the time you get there, I got one yesterday from a friend that referred me in Canada, and guess the focus, what the focus is on, this all these project management applications, office project, Jira. Those are the things they're asking for. Jobs are there, but the question is, are you skilled
Are you skilled?
for the job? So when you are thinking of jackpotting, are you
Are you
also
also
upskilled?
skilled? Yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you so much for this detailed explanation. So I'll just talk a bit on the some of my friends who apparently have, jackpot to different countries.
Mm-hmm.
But I have one who apparently upskilled.
Okay.
She took on a certification on AWS DevOps.
Okay.
Of course, she's in the IT department
Mm-hmm.
and no IT field, I mean. And she just told me, Tori, I need global exposure.
Certainly.
I am thinking of other platforms, other
Mm-hmm.
opportunities,
Yes.
And then she did the AWS DevOps, and I think a month or 2 months later, she got a job from Switzerland. And
Exactly.
what did they do? They sponsored her
Mm-hmm.
and her husband and the
Yes.
children.
Mm-hmm.
They gave her a place.
Wow.
Yes, they gave her a place. Her children are being catered for, the welfare and everything. That's an honored way
Exactly.
of being,
Exactly.
of moving to another country. And the
Exactly.
same lady, a friend of mine also, a client of mine, she
Mm-hmm.
also relocated to Ireland.
Okay.
And how did she go there? Um, She's I think one of the MVPs, Microsoft's most valuable person. I can't remember MVP. Sha.
Okay.
And when we were discussing, she said she got some certifications, especially in Microsoft Power Apps and
Yes.
some stuff. And the same thing, she got a job there. They paid the flight ticket, they're accommodating her, the welfare of the children,
Yeah.
all documentations right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there now. This is the second year going. So what are we talking about? We are just saying what we are saying majorly is we're not saying that do not travel to other
Yeah.
countries. Yes, you can travel to other countries. I usually say the heart is of the Lord and the fullness thereof. He
Exactly.
owns everything, and they say wherever our feet steps into, we will possess it.
Exactly.
So it's no, it. God owns every place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to say I want to get myself exposed. I want to see get other opportunities.
Yes.
That is what we are talking about. However, what are you? How are you exploring these opportunities? It's very
Exactly.
important, and so you must be ready. Identify your interest and get that skills that will get you readily, sought for, and
Exactly.
then get yourself out there. You have your network platforms where you have your LinkedIn and other platforms you can actually, put in your profile and then join communities. But before I finally drop,
Okay.
today,
Yes.
heard you mentioned mentor, and then
Yes.
you mentioned the first mentor, when you mentor one, A, mentor two. Please, I need to know. I need the viewers to really understand how can you get these mentors, because the way you mentioned the mentor, like looks like okay, I'm start going to look for mentors. How
Okay.
can I identify mentors?
Okay. So, mentors are literally everywhere, so to speak. The question is, are you ready to serve these mentors? Are you?
Okay,
What are you also bringing to the
to the
table? Because
table.
when we talk about this networking or this relationship, the mentor, because like someone will say that yes, you may call somebody a mentor, but the person does not recognize you as his or her
Yeah, yeah.
protege.
So how would you let the
So I
person
don't use that word.
recognize
I
you?
don't use that word loosely. I use that word
Okay,
very carefully. So when
carefully.
I say somebody is my mentor, it's because we have that touch. I mean, like I said, I had a very fantastic session with my mentor. There's no amount of money I could have paid for that session. I mean, that session is invaluable. And it was from the bottom of his heart. It was pouring his heart. I saw it look me at my face. You are not growing. Who can tell you? And I look at my level. If this person is telling, I was able to break it down. But the truth of the matter is that I didn't get to that level of relationship without serving. Without serving. So you must come from that posture and when I say serving, is not that you now lose your self dignity. No, no. The right mentors they will understand what I mean by that. So you bring value also to the table. You also bring value. You bring some form of relief for them. You look at areas where you can help out. One of my coach, I also subscribed to a coaching session recently. So I have a coach, I have a mentor, and one of my coach was saying that that she was also looking up to a particular mentor, and when she had the opportunity, has got this person actually said now this person is a senior exec in one of the multinational in this country, senior exec. When she met this person, like he said, please madam, I am available, whatever it is you want me to do I will do. And she helped the woman out. The things she couldn't do, she was able to make some connect to help them. So what am I saying? Mentors are everywhere, but the posture must not be that you want to come and take. No, it doesn't work that way. You
Must
can't be
be a mutual benefit.
exactly. So yes, you are coming to learn. They also need to be able to pick one or two things also from you. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope when next we call you, you'll be glad to come.
Of course.
We are so grateful,
Thank you.
So, at this very note, I would like you to follow us, like us, share, and make comments. Please do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.